Hello and welcome to another episode of the Family Gamers Podcast. This is episode 406.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Who are we? We are the Family Gamers. As always, I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined by my lovely and wonderful wife, Anitra.
That's me.
Anitra, I have to admit, I've kind of been looking forward to this episode for a little while.
Oh, yeah?
I have known what fact I was going to use for this episode for, I don't know, maybe a couple of months.
Okay. What's your 406 fact?
All right. So anyone who knows me knows that I'm like a baseball fan. I have season tickets to a college baseball team. Like, who even does that? This morning, I looked up the league leader in average for baseball this year.
Okay.
Batting average. Do you happen to know what it is? I mean, do you know
No.
what like a good batting average is?
I mean, I know anything over 300 is good. There's usually several guys in the MLB who are averaging more than 300, but I mean...
Sure. Look, that's kind of an easy one. Like, if it's above 300, it's pretty good, right? So this year, the league leader in batting average is Aaron Judge at 328.
All
He
right.
also happens to be leading the league in like on-base percentage and slugging percentage, and he's kind of a monster, but that's fine. Also, he's got like a great thing, like when he comes up, like everybody says all rise because his last name is Judge, which is kind of like a cool baseball thing, right?
Sure.
And this is a Red Sox fan saying this about a Yankee, but I respect that. But anyway, anybody who knows anything about baseball kind of already knows where I'm going with this. The best all-time batting average ever was in the 1941 season.
1941.
Yeah.
Man.
It was none other than Ted Williams.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay. What do you think his batting average was, Anitra?
I'm going to guess, based on all this lead up, that it was probably 406 that season.
That is absolutely correct. Do you know what Ted Williams' nickname was?
No idea.
The Splendid Splinter. Which I think is a great, like, it's such a goofy, like, 1940s nickname. You know what I mean?
Our daughter and I actually had this conversation the other day about how wooden bats are only used in, like, college baseball and above now. The Splendid Splinter makes me think of that.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So here's the story. So Ted Williams ended the 1941 season on September 28th, 1941. Shock, I know. At the beginning of the day, Williams had a .39995 average, which would have been rounded to 400, but as the story goes, Williams' competitive spirit would not allow him to sit out the final games. According to the New York Times, he actually said, "If I'm going to be a 400 hitter, I want more than my toenails on the line."
All right.
So he played on September 28th. It was a doubleheader against the Philadelphia Athletics, and he went in the doubleheader 6 for 8.
Oh, nice.
To push his batting average up and end the season at 406.
And have the best batting average in MLB ever.
Yeah, I would really be impressed to see that broken. There's a lot of like debate about this because he had like 150 fewer at-bats than typical hitter at that time for various reasons. I don't know if he took a break or he was hurt or whatever. Like, I don't know the details. You could look it up. And some people have argued that because of that actually kind of helped him. However, during Joe DiMaggio's famous 56-game hit streak, Ted Williams had a better batting average. So, anyway.
All right, man.
So that is my fact for our episode 406.
As usual, I have a message from our sponsor. While First Move believes with enough time and the right knowledge, everyone can manage their own finances, there are benefits to working with a professional. Navigating the complex world of personal finance can be overwhelming. A financial advisor acts as your compass, guiding you toward financial success. With their expertise, you'll gain tailored strategies to achieve your goals faster, whether it's saving for retirement, buying a home, or managing investments. A financial advisor helps you see the bigger picture, ensuring your decisions align with your aspirations. They should offer unbiased advice, optimize tax efficiency, and adapt strategies to changing circumstances. Partnering with a financial advisor empowers you to make informed choices and secure your financial future with confidence. If you want to see if working with a financial advisor can help your situation, set up a time to talk to First Move by going to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers today.
Thanks so much to the team at First Move for sponsoring yet one more episode of the Family Gamers podcast. So, Anitra, we've played a bunch of games. Some of them new to us. Some of them we've had around for a little while and we're kind of getting back to. Where do you want to start?
A lot of what we played were fairly new to us. So let's start with something new.
Okay.
I believe I mentioned on our last podcast that we got in a kid's game, Mr. Postmouse's Picnic.
Yeah.
So you and I sat down to play it together and be like, okay, this is cute. We're going to enjoy Mr. Postmouse's Picnic.
Sure. Did we enjoy it? I mean, sure we enjoyed it. We were
enjoyed
having,
it,
fun playing a game together.
But we played it 5 times, I think, together, and we lost every single time.
I mean,
every time.
We played it on the harder side.
We did play it on the harder side of the board, but my goodness, we're adults. This is a game for 4-year-olds.
Well, it's basically a luck game.
I mean, I expected there to be a lot of luck, but it's just, I pulled it out the next day and I'm like, okay, there has got to be some strategy involved here to make this possible to win, because a cooperative game, there should be a way to win. I did eventually get there, but I think when I do review this game, I'm going to emphasize that this should be a game about enjoying the environment and playing pretend with it, and definitely not emphasizing winning or necessarily even emphasizing teamwork. Like, just enjoy the journey of playing the game with your little kid. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Postmouse's Picnic, for those of you who don't know, so this is a French TV show?
It is a French book series.
Book series. Okay. So all you're really doing in this game, it's a tile-laying path building game, and you are just helping Mr. Postmouse get from his house to the picnic while delivering invitations to his friends along the way. And that's it. You're drawing a tile from a box and trying to extend this path. Sometimes there's movement, and you can move your friends, or you can move Mr. Postmouse, and you're just trying to get them to basically run into each other on, the way they go. The friends don't have to be on the path. Mr. Postmouse has to be on the path. So there's a little bit of puzzliness, I guess, but mostly this is just luck of the draw.
Yeah, and it just, there are things that slow you down, like rain. You have to get Mr. Postmouse and at least 4 of his friends to the picnic before you have drawn the 6th nighttime tile. Basically, that indicates it is now the end of the day. Whoever got to the picnic had a great time. Hopefully, everyone got to the picnic. But in our experience, everyone will not get to the picnic.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much the game. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot more to it than that, really. I would love to actually play this with kids and see, if they like it. I don't know
how they feel about it, yeah.
Around here, how many kids have much in the way of experience with Mr. Postmouse, but I guess that's because our youngest child is 11.
Yeah, so. I mean, this is also, like, I have seen 1 or 2 people, as I mentioned Mr. Postmouse, be like, oh, that's such a great kid series. At least 2 or 3 of the books have been translated into English and are available in the United States. So I would assume there are some kids out there in the US and Canada who are familiar with Mr. Postmouse. It's just we're not in the right demographic for that anymore, and that's okay.
We're not. Let's pivot a little bit. Let's talk about a game that we've had in the house for a long time. We started playing it, and it kind of flamed out a little bit. Not because of anything wrong with the game, but because our kids just didn't really like it, which actually was super frustrating to me because I thought they would enjoy this game a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about My City. So this is the Reiner Knizia legacy tile laying game. You are building your city, and there's not really a plot. I don't know. How would you, like, it's like a paper thin plot that's just really there to help you change mechanics as you go along.
Yeah, it's not so much a plot as an evolving setting.
Sure.
I'll say.
I'll take that.
This is a competitive legacy game. I wouldn't so much call it a campaign. Like you said, there's not a plot. It's just it's a legacy game. The setting and the rules for the game evolve and change with repeated plays.
Right.
We reviewed it all the way back in 2021. And after we reviewed it, we kind of set it aside. We're like, oh, well, we'll come back to it at some point. Man, at this point, I think it was 6 or 8 months ago, you and I talked about it, and we're like, you know what? The kids are never going to want to play this. And we confirmed that talking to them. Even our big gamer was like, oh, well, yeah, I'd be up for playing it with you. And we're like, but if we said, you have the option of playing My City or any of these other games, would you pick My City? And he's like, well, probably not. Like, fine. Then we are going to finish playing this game without you guys because we like it and we want to see how else it changes.
Mm-hmm.
We got about halfway through it before we reviewed it, which we felt like was enough. So yeah, you and I have played it together 5 times in the last week and a half.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is, look, we're just motivated to kind of play through the game and enjoy what it has and then move on, right? That's a That's a significant part of it, to be truthful. But also, it's pretty good. Once you kind of get everything out and get it all set up, like you can work through a couple of different, I don't know, it's a chapter that has 3 scenarios in it or something like that. And there's 8 chapters.
They call it episodes.
Yeah, episodes. Yeah. So, I don't know that every time we sat down, we played a chapter at a time, but we definitely did the first time. And I think we played a couple the second time. So, it's something that we can move through fairly quickly, actually wanting to play the game. So,
yeah. Coming back to it, we're really enjoying it. I would change a little bit of what I said in the past in our review because this did not have staying power with our family as soon as we stopped saying like, hey kids, you need to sit down and play this game with us. They were like, okay, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, I think a big part of that, first of all, is, learning your kids, right? So you said that this was almost 5 years ago, which means that we had been doing the podcast for almost,
for about 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And that just really goes to show you, maybe we're just dull or thick-headed that after 5 years, we still didn't have a good bead on our kids and their gaming preferences. But let this be kind of a testimony for everybody out there that if we don't know what our kids want after 5 years, then, how could you possibly be expected to? Like, we're supposed to know this stuff. But anyway, I think we figured out that especially, Asher and Claire, who are the ones who played this with us, they have wildly divergent taste in games.
Honestly, like at this point, they're good sports with each other, but there are very few games that get both of them excited to play.
Right. And so when one of them comes to the table, no pun intended, to play with the other one, even if it's the same game, they're not always interacting with it in the same way.
Yeah.
And that there's like kind of this unspoken stress to it all, right? So I think that contributed. I also just kind of think that maybe tile laying games are not entirely what they love, although Asher sure seems to love Barren Park.
Yeah, I think it's not so much the tile laying as the fact that, let's be honest here, My City, it's a very dry, there's not a lot there theme-wise, which we were talking about theme in the last episode.
Sure.
If you really love tile laying games and you like that kind of city building idea, then it can work for you. But even then, it's not the kind of thing that grabs you and is like, oh man, I want to see what happens next. It's just kind of like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it has strong mechanics. So for those of you who don't remember or just have no clue, My City is a lot like Karuba, where there's a deck of cards. You flip one out and everybody places that tile on their board, right? So everybody's got mostly the same set of tiles.
Yeah, the further you get into the game, the more divergent both your board and your tile set gets. But the tile set is always at least 90% the same.
Right. So anyway, so that's My City. We're going to keep playing it. I think it's a 2-player game. This game is just as good. I wish the kids liked it more, but I'm perfectly happy to just play it 2 players, go through the whole game. And I'm one of those people that doesn't mind throwing out a legacy game when they're done with it. So
yeah,
that's what'll happen.
I don't think it is gripping enough that we're going to keep it around to play, quote unquote, the eternal game.
Yeah,
afterwards.
There's plenty of other tiling.
There's plenty of other games.
I would just as soon play. So,
all right, back to new stuff. So I think we mentioned that a couple of weeks ago now we played Tesla versus Edison for the first time in years.
Yep.
And it got you looking around.
I wasn't looking around. This fell into my lap. Like, in my defense, this was like somebody standing outside with a trench coat, like, want to buy a board game? Like, that's what it felt like to me. I was literally buying something completely unrelated on Amazon, and this popped up.
And Amazon recommended to you
Tesla vs. Edison, The Duel, for $10. Like, that was what got me. Like, if it was $11, I might have had the strength to say no, but it was $10.
And unusual for us, especially with a game that we bought rather than got in for review. Basically, as soon as it arrived, you were like, hey, let's figure out when you and I can sit down and play this game. Was it the same day or was it the next day?
No. It sat on the table for a couple of days.
It was not that long.
It wasn't a super long period of time, but it was a couple of days that it sat on the table. We were far too busy.
But yeah, so we played Tesla versus Edison Duel.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game does a good job distilling down the idea of this war of the currents. The goal of the game is still to sort of have the most/best stock at the end of the game. So I think it distills down the ideas from the bigger game well, but it doesn't feel the same. And that's okay.
Yeah, it is a very different game. Like, the only thing that ties this game to the full game is the theme. There's really nothing mechanically similar at all.
Yeah, it's using the same ideas from the theme and representing them in different ways. So you're still buying stock. You're still building power plants, quote unquote.
Right.
You're still researching technology, quote unquote. But those 3 or 4 things all work in a different way in Duel than they do in the full game. But that said, all of those things have been simplified down in Duel so that it becomes a half-hour game with a really tight back and forth between 2 players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look, at the end of the day, I didn't like it as much as the full game. I would rather play the full game 2-player than play Duel. But the full game is also a much bigger experience. It takes longer to play, blah, 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 blah. I did feel like it took more time to set Duel up than it did to, play through the game in a lot of ways. Like, there's a lot of different things you have to kind of lay out, and, all the different pieces of stock go in different places. And I
think some of that was us learning, though.
I guess, but I really remember sitting there setting this thing up, and I'm like, all right, at what point do we play this game?
Yeah. It did take a long time to set up compared to the time it took to play. We actually played 2 games back to back because we're like, okay, now we understand this. It's going to be really fast to reset and play again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, there are lots of little decks of cards involved and you need to separate them all out. And so some of that was just the fact we were literally taking a brand new game and trying to figure it all out and separate out what goes where and who does what. I think it'd be faster in the future. But it is a smaller, faster, lighter game. For me, that also means you're way more likely to get me to play this than the full Tesla versus Edison. I'm not against Tesla versus Edison. I am fine with playing Tesla versus Edison, but I need to be ready for that deep, thinky, 90-minute, 120-minute experience.
No, I get that. I mean, so my issue with that is, as much as I like Tesla versus Edison, I would rather play the other Duel game that we've been playing than Tesla versus Edison Duel, which is Duel for Cardia.
I agree. Duel for Cardia is incredibly fast to set up and incredibly fast to play and gets you that thinky experience of really trying to get in the other player's head and make the best use you can of limited resources in your hand.
Right. So as we complete this crossover, I'll say I'll probably play Tesla vs. Edison Duel a couple more times, but it's probably a game that we're going to move on from. I don't think it has enough staying power because anytime I would play that game, there's something else that I would probably play first.
Reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Duel for Cardia. We mentioned this on the last episode. This is an interesting new game from Hans im Glück. Is that
yes.
who publishes this? And Duel for Cardia is a game where it's kind of like a lane battler. Sort of. You are playing out a card against your opponent. You select a card, have it face down, you reveal it at the same time. Those 2 cards duel with each other. The card that has a higher value on it, generally speaking, wins. And the card with the lower value, their power triggers. That power might change who wins, might make it a tie, might force the opponent to discard some cards, might allow you to draw some cards, might affect the power of a different soon-to-come battle or a previous battle, which could change who wins that battle. The goal of this game is to get 5 signets, which means win 5 duels.
Yep.
It's really interesting. I got tripped up on this a lot more than you did in the beginning, but now you seem to be getting tripped up on it occasionally, which is remembering that if you win the fight, your power doesn't trigger. If you win the fight, your power doesn't trigger. And I don't know why, there's a little bit of a disconnect there, but I can't blame the game for it. It's pretty clear how the game works, right? But this game is super interesting. There's 2 different decks in the box. There's the kind of level 1 deck and the level 2 deck. And when I say deck, I mean set of 2 sets of cards.
16 cards for each player.
32 cards. Yes. So it's 16 for each player. That's deck 1. 16 for each player is deck 2. And so you can and should start with deck 1 and start with no locations. So there's a deck of locations, which are ways that each location fundamentally changes some aspect of the game.
For both players,
instead of draw 1 card at the end of your turn, draw 2, pick 1, put the other one on the bottom of your deck. That's an example of a location, right? So there's locations, there's a level 1 deck, there's level 2 decks. Start with just the level 1 decks and no locations to play the more straightforward version of this game. Then you can add locations, then you can switch to the other deck. This game can't cost more than $15. It's just, a couple of decks of cards, basically. But it's really fun. It has very deep strategy there's a lot of different ways that you can play through this. You can just play like a straight power game and just try to win. You can be a little bit more manipulative and try to lose strategically so that you're getting powers that trigger that do others. You know what I mean? So
you can also play strategically to try to make your opponent shed cards so that if you can hold out long enough and just keep them from winning too many battles, you win the war of attrition because you can continue to play cards when they run out.
Right, because everybody has the same number of cards.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those games where, like we've talked about our son Asher, who locks onto a strategy and really struggles to break out of that strategy. He loves this game, but that's something that he's going to struggle with because this is a game where you really have to be nimble based on what cards you get and adjust your strategy fairly quickly based on what you see. But I'm really enjoying this game. It's very small. It goes in a purse. You can fit it in a cargo pant pocket. You can't fit it in a normal pocket, I wouldn't say. But
no, I mean, it's your typical like double deck box size.
Mhm.
Not super large. We have really enjoyed it. You were about right on saying $15. According to Amazon and other online retailers,
Sure.
It's about $17.
I'd buy that. I mean, I would.
Yeah, it's got a lot of tokens, like they're cardboard tokens, but it's got a lot of tokens, so I don't blame it for being a little bit more than your typical card game. And you can also play it on Board Game Arena.
Yep.
If you would like to try out this game that we are going to be raving about for the next, I don't know how many weeks or months, you can come try it on Board Game Arena. In fact, this is a chance to plug the Discord. If someone tells me on the Discord that they want to play Duel for Cardia on Board Game Arena, I will jump in and play it with you anytime.
So that's that one. All right, what else is on the list, Anitra?
Well, it's time to talk about one that we've had for a while again.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we had a game from 25th Century called Run, Run, Run. This is an interesting game that we played with the kids and really kind of struggled with. Run, Run, Run is a game where you're not really tomb robbers. I don't even know what you're like. You're archaeologists, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're cat explorers, right?
Cat explorers, sure. Yeah. And your goal is to basically escape. You have to beat the boss mummy and escape the Egyptian tomb. That's the goal of the game.
It's really more about preventing the mummies from getting to a specific location, and like that's how you escape, is prevent them from reaching the inner sanctum or something.
Mm-hmm.
That part doesn't entirely make sense to me, but sure, let's run with it.
That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
What we did not appreciate coming into this game is that it's really hard.
Yeah, so this is kind of I don't know, it's really hard, like really, really hard. Like if you look online, there's people who are like, I just ever want to win one time. I think that this game mechanically is fine. It's just very swingy based on the various kind of lucks of the draw. So you're pulling tiles off of a tile stack, and these tiles need to be placed into the tomb so that you can search. But at the same time, there's also sarcophagus tokens, which are helpful to you. And there's also randomization in which mummies are going to come out at certain times, on top of rolling dice to find out what happens with mummies. So there's a lot of randomness, a lot of variation, a lot of luck of the draw in this game. And in order to be successful with this game, almost all of them have to go in your favor.
Yeah.
And I think there's a place for that. Like if you are, so this is a cooperative game. If you're the type of game group that really likes the struggle, right, and it doesn't really bother you to lose, I think there's a place for a game like Run, 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 right? I absolutely do. This game is a cooperative game that's not going to roll over on you at all. Where it was a struggle for us, like, because you and I would play, and it's like, oh man, we lost again. Oh man, we lost again. Like literally, one of the last times we played, we lost when the boss mummy had one more health. Like we were that close, right? And that's fine, except when you play with kids.
Yeah, and that's one of my big hangups with this one. Like the look of it says like appropriate for kids. The box says it's for ages 8+. Let me tell you, I would not play this with a kid under about 12 unless they really don't care about losing.
Yeah, mechanically, this game absolutely fits that age range, right? But like socially and mentally, I don't see a lot of kids that are willing to lose a lot, that are willing to grind on this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that ultimately is where we ended up struggling with this game. And you know, at the end of the day, like, because our rubric literally includes family fun, that's where we're like, this is going to be a struggle for us.
This is not a family fun game for most families.
That doesn't mean the game is bad, right? It just means that with the rubrics that we use, this didn't really fit, right? So that's Run, Run, Run. Really interesting game. Really, really hard game. And like I said, if you're into that really, really hard stuff and you don't mind a little bit of luck, like if you're the kind of person who says, I really like hard stuff as long as I can strategize my way out of it, I think you're still not going to want this. Looking for something here that you're not getting. But if you're okay with the kind of the fun of it all, and you're with a bunch of adult friends, and you're having some beverages, and you're just having a good time, and it really truly is about the social experience and not about winning the game, then I think it's fine. I think it's a plenty good game in that way.
Yeah, it's funny because in this episode, we're talking both about Run, Run, Run and about Mr. Postmouse's Picnic, and they're both cooperative games, and they're both really hard to win, right?
Yeah, I think the only thing that's different about Mr. Postmouse's Picnic is, first of all, again, we played it on the hard side, but also it's like a 5-minute game.
Right, so that's the thing, is I'm looking at Mr. Postmouse's Picnic, even though it has a similar win-lose ratio in my experience, it doesn't feel quite as punishing. It is more about, okay, enjoy the journey, like, oh, well, we drew this tile, and then Mr. Postmouse gets to do this thing. There's way less strategy in Mr. Postmouse. Like, it's just more open and honest about being super luck-based.
Yeah, but I think the good thing about that is that it's transparent about it, right? You don't feel like you have failed quite as much.
And the theme. This is one of those things where theme matters a lot, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, both of these are kid appropriate. Both of them are cooperative. Both of them are very hard to win. The theme of Mr. Postmouse's Picnic is literally like a stroll in the woods and meeting your friends and inviting them to go to your picnic. Okay, losing means you didn't get all your friends to the picnic. Disappointing, but honestly pretty fine.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Like, everybody still had a good day. The theme of Run, Run, Run is you are accidentally waking up mummies, and then you have to defeat them so they don't wreak havoc. So losing feels more oppressive. Like, oh no, the mummies got out. Like, everyone's going to die. The mummies got out.
The mummies got to the treasure.
The mummies got to the treasure. Like,
it sits heavier. I get
it.
It
sits heavier,
sure,
right?
Sure.
And so I think there's a number of things here where, even though I'm looking at mechanically and, the way things end up working out, there's actually a lot of similarities between these two. I would be way more likely to recommend Mr. Postmouse's Picnic to a family with kids wanting to play a cooperative game than I would Run, Run, Run. And it's just all of the different ways these things interact.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think that there's a much more open, casual audience, which is a significantly larger audience that would appreciate Mr. Postmouse's Picnic than Run, Run, Run. Again, I do think there's a place for it. It's just a much more limited place. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, we have one more game on our list that we've been playing recently. This is a game, we came off the theme episode. This is a game with a lot of theme, dripping with theme.
So much theme.
And I have played it now one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I very much feel like this was a game that was kind of made in service to the theme.
Yes.
Which is not necessarily a complimentary thing to say, but I need to play the game more before I feel like I can confidently say that. I'm not willing to stand on that right now, but for me, first read on Hi-Fi was very much like, okay, I'm doing theme things. Where's the game in this?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt strategic, but it didn't feel like a game. It just felt like I'm strategically theming. I don't even know if that makes sense.
I think it does. See, this is one of those things where I think theme can matter a lot, and your connection to the theme, because for me, once it meshed in my head, I was like, oh man, like, I get this. It's not even quite the kind of music theme I would normally be drawn to, but it works for me. I would be happy to play Hi-Fi anytime.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am really enjoying it. And part of it is that it's got those puzzly bits that I tend to enjoy in games, married with a theme that I actually feel like I have some connection to.
Okay. So in Hi-Fi, you're doing a lot of different things. So the key piece of this game is that you're playing I'm going to say audio clips into sound
Yes.
tracks for 4 different songs.
Yes.
And these audio clips are different instruments, different volumes, and they have time, I don't want to say signatures on them, but
Timestamps.
stamps on them. And so you're kind of incentivized to get those things to match, because the more of those things you match, the more opportunities you have for like bonus things that you can do on your turn.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, there's some additions based on trim dials and I don't know, what are the stars supposed to be effects that are turned on and off? Is that what they are? I don't even know.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that will, sum together to give you some amount of points each turn. The way that we just described that together is kind of what I think my issue is with this game. So, all right, this is Andrew sounding like a jerk time. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. So remember,
You're allowed.
So we went, I don't even know how much of this we shared on the show. I think we mentioned it on the show, but we went to that Ren Fair, and because I'm I'm such a dyed-in-the-wool nerd that like the veneer of Renaissance stuff kind of bugged me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was all this stuff that was like a nod to this concept, but it wasn't terribly accurate, and it just like felt like it was this like bizarre pastiche of medieval-ish stuff.
The stuff where it's kind of a wink and a nod, like, yeah, we're totally medieval. Wink, wink.
But I feel like, yes, that's how I feel like I inferred it that way, but I feel like that wasn't the intent. Like, the intent was, yes, we're totally medieval, but I was like, but really, are you? Well, you know what I mean? And that's why I said, like, this is me being a jerk, is because, like, I felt like internally I was being super judgy about it. I wasn't saying it out loud, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it is to go on this tangent with you. It's this feeling that everybody has a different concept of what it means and how far they want to go. And for some people, probably a lot more people than in the past, generic fantasy setting is all that they associate with Ren Fair, medieval, whatever. So you've got people with like wings and elf ears and colored hair and whatever. And if you care about actual medieval and Renaissance stuff, that doesn't fit at all, right?
So let me be. I want to be really clear here, because I think our daughter got like offended by me kind of trying to talk this out in the car, and that was not my goal. Like, people can do what they want. Like, I support people letting their freak flag fly. Like, that's fine. I have no problem
within
with that.
reason.
But like internally, I'm like, oh, but this is not what this is. And it just like, it grated on me internally. And I want to support everybody's opportunity to be comfortable in their own skin and whatever, like all that stuff, fine. But like internally, I was like having issues.
It hurts you.
I mean, come on, give me a break, right? Like, I'm a better person than that. But anyway, my point is, that's how I felt about this game.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
I was like, oh, cool, there's trim knobs, but they don't actually do anything trim related. They just show up to be something that adds on to something else. And like, there are effects, I guess, but it's like, it's just another feature on the mixing board. It doesn't like actually do anything related to what it's for. Right.
Sure,
and like
sure.
The turntable as action selection, like, clever, but also has nothing to do with an actual turntable. Like, so the game felt like it took all of these ideas of a kid playing at dad's mixing board, not knowing what any of the things actually did. Does that make sense?
Yes, that actually makes total sense to me.
Right. And
yes.
So as like, I enjoyed the game as this like strategic exercise, but like, that's why the theme for me was just kind of like blasé, like, because none of the things really did the things that the things were saying that the things did.
Yeah, nope, I get that. I think that's interesting because, yeah, the pieces of mixing board and whatever, I don't have as much connection to, obviously.
Right.
And so for me, the concept of all of these things sort of working together to, we're going to make the best songs as a group that we can make. But if I do a little bit more to add to them being the best songs, I will get more points than you. That really worked for me. And I could see how some of the mechanics fit together to make it so that like, oh, hey, I really am incentivized to kind of work with what other people put out and to make sure that we actually have 4 good songs, not 1 amazing song and 3 we threw a bunch of junk together songs. That part all worked really well for me. And so a lot of this comes into placing the cards that are bits of soundtrack, bits of song on. And I saw all of the other mechanics as just kind of feeding back into that, of ways to get you points as you do that. But yeah, I don't have nearly as much a connection to all of the things that you actually do on a mixing board. And so that part didn't bother me, that those are just there symbolically as different ways to represent different things that affect your points.
Right. Sure. Like,
so that makes total sense.
Okay. The next reference I want to make is, it's like you and me when we were in college as computer science majors watching Swordfish, the movie, together, and like having an absolute stroke at like Hugh Jackman being a total elite hacker bro. Right? By the way, side comment off my side comment, I pulled up Swordfish because I wanted to make sure I was referencing the actor correctly. The front of this movie, like the movie poster, John Travolta, Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, and Don Cheadle. Like, what a cast. Right. But anyway,
man, yeah, it's been a while.
But that's where I'm at with Hi-Fi. Like, I want to play this game more because, first of all, I believe in giving every game a fair shake if we're going to review it for the show. But also, like, that part of it just like rested weirdly for me.
Sure. I get that.
Yep, that's it.
So far, mixed reviews on Hi-Fi. We're going to play it a little bit more. We're definitely going to make sure that at some point we play this with 4 people.
Yes. Yes.
Because it definitely feels like the kind of game where you're going to get the most out of it with the maximum player count. Like, there's going to be a lot more player interaction as there are more players involved. Mm-hmm. But yeah, mixed results so far.
All right, Anisha, so why don't we do some community stuff? And then we will take a break and get into our topic, which we actually haven't addressed yet. So
not at all.
I'll mention the topic. It's my birthday week. I had a birthday. It was fun.
Happy birthday, old man.
Yeah, I'm old. So we're going to talk about my favorite games of 2025. This is not necessarily games that came out in 2025. In fact, I can tell you for a fact that it is mostly not games that came out in 2025. But my favorite games that I have played this year, I pulled up my BG stats and I picked 5 games that ironically actually all represent like different things of games. Like, there's a party game in there and a 2-player game, etc. But I didn't pick them in that way. That's literally just how they fell out. So we're going to talk about those. And then I also picked one game that I am looking forward to playing before the end of 2025.
Okay.
So that's going to be our topic, second half of the show. But let's first welcome our new community members and then talk about some back talk. How does that sound?
All right. That sounds good.
All right. So I will get us started by saying welcome to Heather.
Welcome to David.
Welcome to Jor.
And Jason.
And welcome to Gail. That is the coolest spelling of Gail, by the way, that I have ever seen.
Welcome to Gary.
Welcome to Rachel.
Welcome to Peter.
Welcome to Ben.
Welcome to Virginia.
Welcome to Winnie.
And to Edie.
We are so glad that you have joined the community.
And Cookie Monster is too, apparently.
Yeah, I picked that one this morning. You like that? Tell us what kinds of games you are playing these days. We'd love to hear from you and find out.
So, diving into the back talk, we asked, where are you on the theme bandwagon? Do you care more about theme, more about mechanics? Both? Neither? I don't know. And what is your favorite theme? Peter shares that his favorite themes are sci-fi, fantasy, steampunk, but good mechanics matter too. Theme matters to tell a story of why am I doing what I'm doing, going beyond, well, we're doing this to get the most points.
Yeah, that's kind of actually, I want to say, sort of the issue that we had with My City with the kids. It's like there was no reason to do it.
Yeah. He also gives us a few of his least favorite themes, the ones that immediately turn him off. Zombies, horror. Even if the games are really well done, those themes are just not a good fit for him and his family.
I'm kind of with you, Peter. Like, what was the game that we played? We went up to our friend's house up in Leominster or whatever. What game was that? Endless Winter or something like that?
Something like that.
I don't even remember. But it was basically a survival something.
It was fun.
It was fine, but like I would never go to a game like that. I just... Ugh. Mark Spector on Facebook says, sacrificing mechanics for theme or vice versa may produce a good game. The gaming masterpiece comes together when theme and mechanics fit hand in glove, and pulling even a single thread would ruin the tapestry. Oh, he's so poetic, that Mark.
He is so poetic. Well, I mean, he's also got some experience with
Maybe
how theme and mechanics go together or not.
Yeah, Mr. Kenner Spiel des Jahres winner.
Yeah.
My favorite theme is one that accomplishes exactly this. Come on. All right. You got that
Gotta
last
give Mark
sentence.
some credit there.
This is 100% a 6 out of 10 partial credit. Like, great initial answer. You failed to show your work, my friend.
I mean, I don't blame Mark for not wanting to choose a specific
It's
kind
fine.
of theme.
It's fine. I'm just giving him a hard time. But yeah, I mean, that is a very politic answer is what I'll say.
Well, JP has a similarly politic answer. He says, whether it's theme, setting, or just the artistic window dressing, that's often what initially draws me to a game.
Again, I'm almost exactly like that, right? Like, I mean, how many times have I said, like, oh, it's a Vincent Dutrait game, I'm going to play it. You know, all those things.
And even Hi-Fi, like, from the look of the box and the board, you were like, all right, I'm all in. Let's go.
Right. Well, and so you kind of skipped something, right? So the Joyful Jedi points out that there's a difference between theme and setting.
Yes.
Setting is where the game takes place. Theme, he says, means mechanics and the way the game is kind of linked to that setting, right? So you mentioned Hi-Fi, very strong setting. Theme for me, just like he says, at the end it's all group dependent. A purely mechanical game with the right group can make it fun. As for the theme of choice, I'm a sucker for mech. I get that. So I'm sorry about that. So
that's
coming back to JP.
Yeah. So JP makes the distinction that window dressing, whatever, is what draws you into a game, but it's the way the mechanics mesh with the theme that will keep you coming back. I think that's very true. Theme is more than just how a game looks, or should be. And again, back to our discussion about Hi-Fi, I think that's where some of the distinction comes, is that maybe the window dressing is not really thematically fully meshing in there with the mechanics they've put in. If you don't know enough about the theme, that doesn't matter. If you do, it does.
Boxo blocks on the Facebook. A balance is needed, of course. Sure. A good theme can outweigh mediocre mechanics sometimes, and vice versa, I think, more. High quality mechanics can outweigh a mediocre theme more so than the reverse, but that's just me. They do say, I'm a sucker for any animal theme. And like, I get that too, right? Like, there's a lot of really cute animal games out there. Like, not a lot of like, I'm going to murder you animal games. So maybe I'm kind of interpreting this in my own way, but you know, sure.
Sure. I immediately thought of a game that has wonderful mechanics and a mediocre theme that I would recommend to just about anybody, and that's King Domino.
Okay.
The mechanics are amazing. The theme is you're building your kingdom with these domino-shaped pieces. No one cares.
Okay.
Like,
follow-up question.
Yes.
Do you think, and I mean, this kind of falls into mechanics, but do you think the genre of game impacts the importance of theme? I'll follow up. This might be easier to answer. Do you think the failing for our family with My City was because there was an expectation that a legacy game was going to have a stronger theme and a stronger story and a better setting, as opposed to a tile-laying game like King Domino, where there isn't really an expectation that those things are going to come and be a part of the experience?
Maybe. That's certainly reasonable. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it.
I'm just curious.
I will say, like, King Domino Origins tried to put more theme ties in there. And while I think it was fine, in the end, it just felt kind of fiddly to me. I'm like, no, but I like the simplicity that we had before.
Right.
So it can go either way, right? Kristen on the Discord says, I'm a mix of both. I use themes a lot to hook my family to play, but a game becomes really special when the theme and mechanisms work together and make sense. That turns the game into an experience. I agree with that 100%.
Yep, for sure. Adrian on the Discord says, I'm also a theme is nice but not necessary kind of person. Straight up abstracts with no setting probably won't get played around here, but something like Azul would. In some ways, it's more about a theme turning us off. I'm not a fan of zombies and horror. We talked about that already. And others I play with aren't into generic fantasy all that much. I'll always take a second look at nature and animal games because they are easier to sell to family and friends. I think there's something to be said for the idea that, well, I mean, she mentions Azul. I think that's more of a setting thing than a theme thing, right?
Sure.
There's something to anchor it, like Sagrada, another great example, something to anchor it, but it doesn't really impact the game all that much.
Well, and I think this is true of Azul. I can definitely now say it's true of Sagrada. Having that setting makes it work even if you're really familiar with the setting or if you know nothing about it. Like,
Sure.
I enjoyed playing Sagrada before I knew anything about the Sagrada Familia and the stained glass windows. Having now seen it in person, it's amazing. Coming back and playing the game, it gave me a little bit more appreciation for the game, but it didn't change how I felt about, like, the mechanics or anything. Like, the mechanics are not really all that tied to, you know, making a stained glass window, but the end result fits really nicely with the setting that they have placed this game into.
Mm-hmm. Sure. No, I get that. That makes total sense.
And we got just one more. Ken says, theme really isn't a deal breaker for me, but I am a sucker for sci-fi themes for sure.
Mm-hmm. So pushes you in the right direction, but not necessarily something that is going to cause you to stop playing a game. I can get behind that. I like that.
Yeah. I think the big thing that we have learned in talking about this is that themes, when they're really well done, can really make a game special. But for most people and for most games, theme is more of a general push towards one game or away from another game.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to have another back talk question for you at the end of the show. But for right now, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and then I get to talk about all of my favorites.
All your favorite games.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll be right back.
And we're back.
Hello.
So we are going to talk about Andrew's birthday, but before we do that, we're going to talk about something else Andrew loves. Multiple things, actually.
Multiple things that Andrew loves. This is the Andrew Loves Stuff show, so you are featured, obviously.
Thanks. Andrew loves eating weird foods for science.
That's true. That's true.
Andrew also loves Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
In my defense, you also love Reese's
So do
Peanut Butter
I.
Cups. Yes.
And Andrew also loves Oreos. And so...
As do you.
There has... Not as much as you do, man.
I mean...
There's been a team up recently between Reese's and Oreo. That there are Oreo Reese's and Reese's Oreos.
Yeah. So...
And we've tried them both in the last 2 weeks.
We have. But don't worry. We're not going to actually try things on the show anymore. We're just going to kind of describe them and then tell you what we think about them. So I found the Reese's Oreos first. So these are Oreos with a peanut butter Reese's filling.
And for some reason, like, extra, like, Oreo crumbs in the Reese's filling? Like,
really? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Did you, like, open one up and look?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, it's extra crumbs of something. I assume it's, like, Oreo cookie.
Yes. Okay, sure.
They honestly just pretty much tasted like the peanut butter Oreos.
Actually, for my money, I would rather get the peanut butter Oreos. I felt like the peanut butter Oreos had a kind of more pure taste to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's they were
fine.
For science-ness of the Reese's Oreos. But the Oreo Reese's, I think, might actually be a contender that nothing is above the OG.
But this is like in that second tier.
It is a pretender to the throne, is what I will say. Like, there's the duos with the coffee one, the coffee in the dark
Kit
chocolate.
Kat duos.
The Kit Kat duos are like a pretender to the throne for the Kit Kats. But there is nothing quite like these Oreo Reese's approaching the throne of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, the classic Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Yeah, I think these ones actually took what they were going for and they nailed it. Like, it is an Oreo flavored Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
I mean, kind of. I got pretty much standard Reese's Peanut Butter Cup flavor with some Oreo crumbles in it. I didn't get any like Oreo cream flavor or anything like that.
Oh, the like white chocolate top part for me, it didn't taste like white chocolate. It definitely gave me the feeling of that Oreo cream.
Okay, sure. I mean, I guess there was a little... It tasted very slightly sweeter, but I don't know that I got the cream flavor out of it, if that makes sense.
I mean, I guess I see what you're saying. I'm not a huge fan of OG Oreos, personally. Like, I don't really like the Oreo cream filling.
Okay.
So because of that, I think I was a little bit more sensitive to the fact that the Oreo flavored Reese's are not just your standard Reese's with some Oreo crumbles in the filling. They're definitely like, they show up as a white top, filling with crumbles in it, and then standard Reese's chocolate bottom. And that white top, like I said, it didn't taste like your typical white chocolate that gets put on some of these things.
Yeah,
it had some of that weird...
Even when they do white
non-dairy
chocolate Reese's
cream
peanut butter cups, even when they do white chocolate peanut butter cups, it doesn't taste like white chocolate. Like, I don't know what it is that they do,
Sure.
but it doesn't ever taste like white chocolate. I mean, these tasted to me very much like Reese's peanut butter cups that were slightly sweeter and had Oreo crumbles in them. That's what they tasted like to me.
So we're going to disagree on this one. I definitely thought they did exactly what they were going for and pulled enough Oreo in there of both the cookie and the cream, which on the flip side, the Reese's flavored Oreos did not do.
Sure. I mean, I think my biggest thought about the Oreo flavored Reese's was, wow, these taste more like regular chocolate Reese's than I expected.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's that. The other thing that is fun, so we are actually recording a little bit of how the sausage is made on the 21st of September, which is Sunday. We have already recorded the first half of the show days ago because yesterday on Saturday, I did something crazy with our two boys.
Yes, you did.
I got up at 3:30 in the morning, drove 4 hours to Syracuse for 1 day of QsCon, and then drove home.
1 day of QsCon, no sleeping over.
Yeah.
One day only.
QsCon is a local board game convention in Syracuse. I mean, not really local for us, but we call it our local convention. This is run by Mike Giuliano, or Googs as we like to call him. Just an amazing human being in general, super chill guy. Love to support him and everything he's doing. He does game development for 3WS Studios. And he hosts this convention, and it's just great. They have a nice flea market in the morning, and it's just kind of open gaming all day. There's a very small vendor hall. A lot of game development is going on in that area. Corey Andalora is in that area. Galen from Galen's Games is in that area. Jason Angle from Hachette is up that way. So these are all people that we always see. Danielle Reynolds was there. Daryl Andrews was there. Corey Thompson from Board Games Insider and Rose Gauntlet, and the guy who owns the Meeple trademark in the United States. And, he's done a million things, was there. So anyway, lots and lots of people. Ash got to play some games. Elliot mostly hung out. I got to get some games tested, and we sold some stuff, and we hung out with some friends. It was awesome.
I was going to say, so given all those names, it sounds like part of the fun of this for you was getting to catch up with a bunch of people in the board game industry who you don't always necessarily get to see. And even when you do get to see them, a lot of the times it's the bigger stuff like PAX Unplugged or GAMA or something where there's not necessarily a lot of downtime.
Yep. Yeah. And everybody's running around like maniacs. And so, you get to actually have a conversation, which is nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the Earth is going to collapse into a volcano before you and I actually get to go to QsCon again at the same time.
Maybe next year. Maybe.
But yeah, eventually that'll happen. So it was a good time. It was a very long day for me, but had a lot of fun. Really, really glad to have gone.
And you did something else for your birthday too. This was a busy week for you.
I did.
You want to talk about that briefly?
Oh, I took myself out on a date.
You did. You went to an Eric Clapton concert.
I did. It
was not really worth it for me to go. I enjoy Eric Clapton, but not to the tune of the price of these tickets.
I so disagree with you. It would have been worth it, but that's okay. I went to see Eric Clapton. The Wallflowers opened for Eric Clapton. It was a really good show. And that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about all of the things you did for your birthday, let's talk about things that you like.
So, I mean, the show's already running long. I mean, how long do I get to talk about you?
Aw. I was thinking specifically games.
Oh, I suppose I did tease that I was going to talk about games.
You said your 5 favorite games from 2025, which means not necessarily published in 2025, but games that you played.
Correct.
Or were new to you or something along those lines.
I looked at my board game stats, and of all of the games that I've played this year, my top 5 favorite games out of that list.
Okay.
I mean, it's not complicated.
Sure.
That's what I did.
Sure.
And it just happened to fall out that I picked a medium-sized group game, a 2-player game, a co-op game, a kind of a heavier game, and a party game.
Okay.
And then I also identified a game that I'm looking forward to playing sometime later this year. And when I say it out loud, you will agree that it is a game that we will play later this year.
All right.
So how does that sound?
Let's go.
All right. Do you have a group that you want to hear about first?
I don't know, man. Pick one.
Okay. So medium to, small to medium-sized group game favorite that I played this year. This was a toss-up for me between Trio and Kabanga, but I went with Trio.
All right. I think I can see why, because Trio gets more play. in our family and in our group. As fun as Kabanga is, and it is great, Trio is just, it's so easy to pull out and get started and get annoyed at each other.
So the reason why I think Trio edged
strategic.
out Kabanga for me is because Kabanga doesn't really require any, like, I don't want to say thinking, 'cause I think that sounds reductive, but like it doesn't really require any kind of deduction or calculation per se.
You have to pay attention, but
there's
it's
a little
not
bit of calculation of when you're going to take the risk, because
Yeah.
you really can never get out of a round without taking a risk at a certain time. But you could kind of handle that just by watching cards.
Yeah.
And with Trio, you can't, right? Trio has a memory component. Trio has a deduction component to it. And so even though I love both of those games, and I would recommend both of those games and play both of those games without hesitation, Trio for me is a little bit more intellectually stimulating.
Sure.
So that's why I picked it to put on this list.
Okay. I think that's a great choice. I have a feeling that Trio is going to stay on our favorites list for a while.
Yeah, I really, really can't wait to get my hands on Jungo and play a little bit more Jungo. I think we talk about Happy Camper and all the great stuff that they're doing, and we like Combo. Claire probably likes Combo more than either one of us. I think for me, Jungo is going to be above Combo, so it's going to be Trio, Jungo, Combo on my list of Happy Camper games. But we got to get a copy first. By the way, that is not the game that I'm looking forward to playing this year.
Okay.
Although it is a game I am.
It is a game you're looking forward to playing this year. All right, hit me with your next category.
Okay, next category is 2-player game.
I think I can guess which one.
Go ahead.
I think it's probably Floristry, although it might be Duel for Cardia.
It's Floristry. I don't think that we have played enough Duel for Cardia for it to beat out Floristry on this list. Floristry is a 2-player game from TAM and Up Games, I think, publishes it. It is an app-driven game, app-related game in a very small way. There's no audio or anything like that. It's just used for the, what is it, Dutch auction? Is that what you called it before?
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. So Floristry is a fantastic game that we play all the time. They did a really good job of stripping this game down to its core components. So there's not a lot of extra fluff going around. There's flexibility where there needs to be flexibility. Your goal here is to create the largest groups of flowers. There's like 5 different kinds of flowers, and you have these domino-like tiles that you're trying to piece together and group together, bid on with a limited pool of funds. And at the end of the game, there's this kind of band of, 3 to 5 in a group. You get X number of points, 6 to 8, you get some number of points, 9 to 11, some number of points, and 12 plus. And then also the number differential for the money that you have at the end, you also get that same point range for that. So I just think there's a really beautiful symmetry to the way in which all of the scoring just works the same way with numbers.
Yes.
And I really, really like that. I mean, obviously, it's kind of obvious with all the flowers, but when I noticed that they mixed it in, that the money was the same way,
Or
it just
scores in the same way. Yeah.
It just kind of completed the picture in such a beautiful and elegant way that I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I still think Floristry is probably going to be my game of the year from 2025. So no arguments from me there.
All right. Yeah. So Floristry, the first time you saw it was at Unplugged last year.
Yes.
But I don't think it actually came out until this year.
Correct.
All right. The next one on this list will be the only other one that has come out. I think it technically came out last year, but is at least a more recent release. And that is the party game on my list. Any guess?
No.
Caution Signs.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, there's other games that I think are really good, and, obviously I've played Green Team Wins this year, but I think that Caution Signs is the best example that I've seen in recent memory of this kind of emergent fun. In the same way that Green Team Wins, everybody puts an answer down, and then you have kind of an argument around the table. One of the things that's so nice about Caution Signs is pretty much everybody is, I'm using air quotes here, making fun of everybody else's pictures. And it's because you have an impossible task of relating these two completely unrelated words to create a picture in 20 seconds that a third party without any prompting is going to be able to guess. And I find it just really raw and refreshing, I guess, that there's very little that you can bring to the table to be good at this game, and yet everybody still has fun playing this game. Because, like, even if you're like, oh, I'm a terrible artist, it doesn't matter. In 20 seconds, everybody is a terrible artist.
Yes.
What difference does it make?
Yeah.
And that's why I like Caution Signs. I also like the fact that you can play this game totally clean. I really appreciate that about it, right? I mean, certainly people are going to take it in a certain direction, and I don't even know if there are planned expansions for this game that would allow you to do some really adult things with it. Not that I'm advocating for those things, but I like the fact that this is a game that you can just play cleanly as a family and everybody can just have a good time.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
All right, so that's 3 of them. What's category 4?
All right, I have a co-op game and a heavier game.
Let's talk about co-op game.
All right, do you want to guess what this one is?
I have no idea.
Well, I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
I played it with you first. We've had this game for a while. It was a sweet time.
I got nothing.
Paint the Roses.
Okay.
Yeah. So Paint the Roses is a game that we talked about, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, where you are trying to fill out the flower garden in the Queen of Hearts garden, Alice in Wonderland, Queen of Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a deduction game. I mean, it is a straight deduction game that is also a cooperative game.
It is an incredibly challenging.
It can be
Cooperative
an incredibly
deduction
challenging
game.
cooperative deduction game. And I like that about this game a lot. I like the fact that it is 2 genres that I enjoy. I do enjoy cooperative games. Part of that is the whole playing games with your kids thing. And I enjoy deduction games, not social deduction games. I'm not a huge fan of social deduction games, but I like, straight up hard deduction. And Paint the Roses has both of those things, and I really like it.
All right, that makes sense.
Mhm.
All right, so game number 5. Tell me about the heavier game, that is one of your favorites of 2025.
Yeah, so the truth is that I don't really get the chance to play too many heavier games anymore because nobody wants to play them with me.
We don't have time. And
Which means that the number of games is very limited. So if you think about this, you probably know the answer to this one as well.
Was it Tesla versus
It
Edison?
totally is Tesla versus Edison. I love this game. I look at it on the shelf and I think about how much I love this game, and then I pull this game out and we play this game, and I'm reminded how much I love this game. Tesla versus Edison is near history. It is mostly based on real things that happened. It's entirely based on real things that happened, but obviously the way that it develops, it might not have been the way that it actually happened. That's how games work. But I love the art style in this game. I love the whole premise of what's going on. I love that it is this battle of current, but really it's a stock game. It feels so good. I know that the owners of Broken Token went through some stuff and they proved out to be not great people, but we have the Broken Token insert for this game, and it's just a delight to get it out. And it's just it's a great product on the table. I love it. I think it's really fun. We didn't play with the Powering Up expansion, but I really think the Powering Up expansion is virtually a must-add to this game when you have it. I just am a huge fan of this game. I would love more games kind of in this general space where you can sort of learn a little bit about history and sort of what's going on, even though it's not an educational game, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I don't know how much of this I've told you out loud, but I'll kind of say it here for the heck of it. I've talked about my maple game, so I'm working on this game about making maple syrup, yada, yada, yada. There are 2 other games that are in the back of my head. One of them is about the Declaration of Independence, which, Anitra, you and I have talked about a little bit. And the other one is a game about Dr. Robert Goddard, who is the father of modern rocketry. And I really, in my heart of hearts, would love to develop just a small subset of games, half a dozen tops, that I could get published that have as part of them an aspect of something about the real world that you can learn. So, just some random interesting like think about like a podcast where they tell you a bunch of interesting crap that you didn't know before, but is related to things that you do know. Those are really interesting things. And I love to explore that idea in some board games. And that's exactly what Tesla versus Edison kind of does. Just to kind of continue the parallel a little bit, like if it were me, I would have probably included a little bit more material about some of the things that actually happened, like a little companion book or something in the box. But that is very much what my idealized version of the games that I would love to make would be, is something like this. Not necessarily these mechanics, but just like this. We talk about theme and setting first half of the show. The setting that this game holds, right? Lacrimosa, another perfect example of the kind of game, the kind of setting that I'm talking about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so that's why this game speaks to me so much. That's why it appeals to me in such a deep way, is because not only is it a topic about which I'm pretty interested, not only is it a game that is very mechanically sound, but the game is presented in a way that is really aligned with the way that I would love to kind of have games presented to me. If you think back, Anitra, you remember when we were talking about themes and what was our favorite theme. Do you remember what I said my favorite theme was?
No, I don't remember.
Wow. That's okay. It is exactly these kinds of these near history games.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
I remember you saying that.
I even mentioned the Magnificent, which kind of has a little bit of that Roaring Twenties vibe to it, kind of thing. Like there's something to that just really appeals to me. World's Fair 1893. That is a game that has a kind of a theme that really appeals to me. That kind of thing, and all of these games, Tesla versus Edison included, strike that and hit that note for me very, very well. And so that's why it is one of my favorite games that I played this year.
Sure, that makes sense. All right, so now that I see this list, because you kept me in the dark, which was good for the podcast. Now that I see this list, it all makes sense. It all fits together.
Mm-hmm.
So your smaller group game was Trio.
Mm-hmm.
That's a smaller group because it goes up to 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
Your 2-player game was Floristry. Your party game of the year was Caution Signs.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite cooperative game to try this year was Paint the Roses.
Yep.
And your favorite heavier game to play this year was Tesla versus Edison. That all makes sense. It does tell me that I should make more of an effort to find some times to play Tesla versus Edison with you. I don't love the game, but I love to make you happy by playing games that you want to play.
Aw. I mean, look,
as long as they're not Zolkin.
I also recognize that like Tesla vs. Edison is not a particularly heavy game. Like it is a heavier game, right? Like
Right.
if it's 3 on the BGG list, I would be surprised. Like I don't really think it is all that complicated, but just in terms of the scope of what we actually play in our family, that's where it falls.
It is 3.24 according to
Really?
Board Game Geek.
Okay, sure.
Which does not really surprise me. It's near that limit for me of like, yes, it holds together because of the theme, and so I can do it, but with a different theme, I might not be able to make my brain comprehend it.
Okay, so I actually looked up on BGG. It says that 1 through 5 is light, medium, heavy, heavy. So this would qualify as a medium, heavy game.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, on the BGG scale where 5 is like brain melting all day.
Well, yeah, food chain magnate, like any of
Ridiculousness.
those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you also promised that you were going to talk about the game that you are still looking forward to the most in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I will
With
pause. And
3 months left in the year.
So I said a lot. I mean, is there one game, Anitra, that is kind of your favorite game that you've played this year? Is it Floristry? I mean, you're just going to say that.
I mean,
Or you can defer, I suppose.
Floristry is way up there. I am also really, really enjoying Duel for Cardia, but I don't think it's going to unseat Floristry just because everything about Floristry just feels right. I don't get frustrated playing Floristry in the same way that I do sometimes when playing Duel for Cardia.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so the game that I am most looking forward to playing this year is Compile Main 2.
oh, sure. I am also looking forward to that one a lot.
I knew you would. Yeah, I mean, I'm even contemplating just ordering it on Amazon and not waiting until PAX to pick it up. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with it because it was greater than. I guess somebody else picked it up, but I don't remember who. So
Sure.
I might just cut my losses and order a copy and get it over with.
We'll see.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right. So good news for you, listeners. 4 out of the 6 games that we were just talking about have reviews and other content on our website.
Mm-hmm.
You can find our review for Trio, our review for Floristry, our review for Caution Signs, and our review of Compile Main 1 on thefamilygamers.com. Almost all of those ended up as snap reviews, so you can even see our lovely smiling faces. Tesla versus Edison, we have not talked about a whole lot over the 10 years we've been doing the podcast, but it did show up in our very first Valentine's Day puns edition. So there are little Easter eggs here and there with it around on the website. I will link to all of those in the show notes. Yes, even the Valentine's Day silliness. And let's talk about a backtalk question.
Yeah, let's talk about a backtalk question. So this week, I just spent 20 minutes talking about my favorite games, or I guess 15 minutes talking about my favorite games this year. So what is your favorite game of the year? Again, your favorite game that you played this year. It could be,
Yes.
a game that you have played previously, like every single game that I listed, almost every single one of them I had played before this year. So it can absolutely be a game that you played before, but what Out of all of the games that you have played this year, if you keep track on BG Stats, this is actually pretty easy to pull a list up. What is the number one? What has risen to the top, the cream of the proverbial cardboard crop?
The cream of the cardboard crop. I love that.
And there's lots of places where you can talk about this. I really hope this is a good conversation because I'm sure a lot of people are going to agree on games that are probably not even the games that we've talked about. And I think that's great, and I think that's awesome. So there's a couple different places that you can go. There are two primary places where we get answers to our questions because they are the two places where we pose our questions. One of them is on the Family Tabletop community on Discord. Easiest way to get in there if you're not there already is to go to thefamilygamers.com/Discord. It'll permalink you right in there and you can join the community. Hopefully, though, if you're on Discord, you are already in that community. Just look for the Backtalk channel thing, and the question will be posed in there.
We will also post this question in our Facebook community. I will do my best to link to it in the show notes, but you can also find it by going to thefamilygamers.com/community. That'll bring you right to the Facebook community, and hopefully this question will be near the top.
Right. So really, all of the social media, we try to make ourselves as easy to find as possible. You can find us on Facebook, on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, Threads, really all the things, at Family Gamers AA for Andrew and Anitra.
We are still putting a few videos up on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I can tell you for sure there's one up there this week that you probably have not seen yet, so you should go check it out. But of course, you can also email us.
Andrew at thefamilygamers.com.
Anitra at thefamilygamers.com. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast and for sticking with us. You should tell your friends about the Family Gamers podcast. We try to stay very accessible, and we are ready to answer your questions. It doesn't have to be our Backtalk question. Any questions you have about playing games as a family, whether that's specific games, specific ages, or anything else, really.
You can also find the podcast on YouTube Music, not just our video reviews, but the podcast itself. So pull it up and give us a listen while you're toiling away at work. You just put it in another tab and then maybe put your browser in front of that tab and you can just listen to the show on there. It's super easy.
Yeah.
Family Gamers is sponsored by First Move Financial. Go to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers to learn how the team at First Move Financial can help you pile up the victory points.
Thanks again to First Move for continuing to sponsor the Family Gamers podcast.
Mm-hmm. We really appreciate it.
All right. Well, this makes me want to go play some games, but probably not Tesla versus Edison right now.
It's a little late for that.
So maybe we'll find a faster game to play. But everybody else, until next time, play games with your kids.